I had my meniscus removed, and this ice machine is a game changer to recovery. As a matter of fact, I had it removed on a Friday and I was at an NFL game standing and cheering in the stands on a Sunday. But I used this religiously for the first 48 hours and then I continued to use it after that. Always check with your physician on what's recommended. But if you are supposed to ice something, this is incredible. So I'm going to go over the whole thing. It comes in this box. It's all compact. And this is called a cold therapy machine. I call it an ice machine. But what comes with it is this cooler. And the cooler has this lid. And that is what's magical. So here's the cooler. This is the pad that you put on your body part. I'll show you that in a minute. And there's a little marking inside here for the fill line. So you put ice in it. And it melts, obviously, ice cold water. Then comes and then this device uses a pump and it brings the coldness through a tube, which I'll show you in a minute, onto this pad. This is the little part. Water gets into this and it's cooling, and then you can have this on your body part. So I've talked about just a general overview, but let me show you how it works. So first of all, the tubing is like this, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to attach the tubing to the pad. I live in a very humid climate, so I always detach it and kind of hang it to dry because I don't want mold to get inside any of the tubing. Then for the lid, it attaches right here. So very simple, and you can hear it click into place. Easy peasy. The next thing is that this is the lid to the cooler, and there's a power button, a start button, and a timer. But there's also, and this is game changing for this, because I had one of these probably like, I think 11 years ago when I had a different surgery, and it came home with me from the surgery center and I used it, but it was not fancy like this. And this has a timer on it and it has a remote, because if you are recovering from an injury or surgery, you don't want to have to be getting up and down and turning it on and off. It's right here. So you can just lay on the couch or sit in your chair or in your bed or however your physician has directed you, and you've got it right here. So you can turn it on right here. See, it came on, and then it has a timer, and you can set it here for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes. You get the idea, 100 minutes. You're not probably going to be advised to ice for 100 minutes with no break. So go ahead again, pay attention to what your physician says, but this can do whatever that recommendation or prescription is. And then also there is a level button, so you can press it and you can see these lights came on 1, 2, and 3. So kind of the cold level that you want. It's incredible. Like I said, the other one didn't have a remote. I am so happy about it. So anyway, I went ahead and just turned it off, and it just blanked everything out. So when you fill this with your ice and the water as directed, you're going to go ahead and put the lid on, and just like with the cooler, this handle kind of goes up and it will lock the lid into place, but it also makes for easy carrying. This plug goes into this part of the lid and then is attached into the wall. And then you can see that it has used parts here. So it says you can use it on your back, your shoulder, your ankle, your arm, and I used it on my knee. So this is attached like I showed you. And then you can do it bare skin, like you don't have to have on leggings or yoga pants or anything. I find it to get super cold, so I actually prefer to have on leggings, or if I don't, I'll even lay like a hand towel down just to give a teeny bit of barrier, but still get the coolness from it. And then you can have the tubing coming up like this, or if you're more comfortable, you can have it going down like this. That is totally a personal preference. And depending on how your knee is wrapped will depend on how much movement and bending you get. The same thing like if it's your shoulder or your elbow. So obviously just use your brain and whatever the doctor directs you to do. But then it comes with this Velcro strap. So based on what body part you're doing, you can put the straps together to make it much longer or shorter. Obviously for my knee, I don't need 3 Velcro straps put together, but if you were going around for your back, you very well may. So you're just gonna kind of attach it to the outside. Again, this part with the rubber and the where the water flows through is going to be on the skin, and then you're going to wrap it around and get it Velcroed on. So this is fitting nicely, and then these 2 flaps, if you want those to lay down also. For me personally, I didn't have to ice up into my thigh, but you might. So again, this is very specific for you and your needs. If you do, you would just take another Velcro strap and you could put it on, wrap around, get it placed where you want it, and then tighten it. like that. So now you're ready to start your icing. You've got your ice in your cooler, your tube is attached, it's plugged into the wall, and you have this position so that you are comfortable. And I just laid back on my couch and I watched a show while the timer was going off. Like I said, this one's game changing because there's a timer. What I had years ago did not. So you can just sit right here, and from your remote, you can go ahead and turn it on, set your time, and then go ahead and start it when you're ready. And then the pump will come on and it will begin to cool the whole entire system. I love it. It's game changing. It's so easy. And then when you're done, you can either leave it here and use it again. Again, your physician will tell you how many minutes on, how many minutes off. But hopefully you have a caretaker who can help replenish it with ice when it needs to be cooler. And then at the, when you're trying to transfer it out, you can just carry it over, detach the lid, and just dump out the ice in the water for cleaning. I told you I live in a very high humid area. So also when I'm done, I take it off. And not every time, just kind of at the end of the day, because you're not supposed to ice when you're sleeping. And then I detach it. There's just a little button and it just pulls out so easily. And then here too, there's a button and it pulls out. And then I hang it to dry. Actually, it would be going this way. I hang it to dry just to help get any of the liquid out. And then the same thing with the pad. I just use a little clip from my laundry room and I just hang it this way so that the tubing is facing down and kind of let it air out a little bit. And then obviously for the cooler itself, you can wipe that out with a towel or whatever. I am just trying to keep any kind of mold from growing within the tube because of the climate that I live in. You might be in a dry climate and you don't need that. It is just, I cannot recommend it enough, especially if you're doing any kind of recovery. But look at this. Let's say that you're doing your shoulder. Look at the flexibility that you have with the movement and where you can get the pads to go front and the front of the shoulder into the back of the shoulder. And then again, you have all these different lengths that you could use on the Velcro strapping to get it to stay into place. So, if you had your shoulder done, you might be wrapped up yourself, but then have somebody help you and you can go around the wrapping and go ahead and get this on to the shoulder to stay into place. You can do your abdomen if you needed to. You can do your back. And this is where I was talking about if you're a little bit larger and this one Velcro strap won't fit all the way around you, then you can use the other Velcro straps that came and you can really make a very, very long strap to keep it into position. So you have this as an option. You can do your ankle, your elbow, really any body part that you need to ice. And you know how much of a pain it is to balance a bag of frozen peas or an ice bag onto your body. This just keeps it strapped in and it gets so cold and it does an excellent job. I am so pleased with this. And so I want to share with you, this is highly recommended. And I hope that you get as much benefit as I got.